Hey everyone, we're back out here at the hive today. It's Wednesday, January 12th, about 2 p.m. Current temperature is 55 degrees Fahrenheit. As you can see, there's a lot of activity here at the hive. They're bringing in some pollen. What we're going to do today is get into the hive and check on the fondant that I put in there. Put Hive Alive Fondant on there about 2 weeks ago. I want to check on that and see how much of that they've consumed. I brought another one so that if that's gone, I'm going to replace it. And then I also brought this feeder shim out here because I had some issues with the fondant without the shim. And I'll kind of explain that to you once we get inside. We'll see you when we get inside the hive. Okay, so we're in the top box now. Some bees up here. I'm not sure about stores. That's the other thing I forgot to mention at the beginning of this video. I want to check on their stores in here to see how they're doing. And if this top box is empty, which they were going after it last time I checked. If it's empty, we'll take it off. But I'm just going to kind of heft it first before I pull out any frames. And if it feels light, we'll start pulling frames. No, it's got some weight to it. So there's still some stores there. All right, so here is the Hive Alive Fondant patty. It looks like they still have, they've eaten out this entire middle section, as you can kind of see here. And they are starting to work on the rest. I think what's happening is they're having a lot of trouble getting to it because I didn't have that feeder shim. So let me kind of explain that to you. I didn't have a feeder shim when I put this on, and I didn't want to put it on this top box. I wanted to put it here because last inspection, or right before I put this on, there was only a little bit of brood in the hive, and it was down here in this bottom box, and most of the cluster was down there. So I didn't want to put it up here, and the cluster was down here. And we were having some overnight lows in the single digits last week, and highs in the 30s, talking Fahrenheit, and I just didn't want them to have to go all the way up through this box, because you know when it gets that cold, the cluster's not going to move. So I put it here, and I think that they're going to be able to have easier access to it once I get this feeder shim installed. So let's go ahead and put that on. So this is something you can learn from my mistake. This feeder shim right here is going to give them access to this fondant much easier. What I had to do to even get it to fit in the first place was I had to kind of raise the frames in this box over here up just a little bit, just to give them access to this part of the fondant here. But you can even see with the lines of propolis going through the fondant here from the bottom of those frames that it was making good contact. So I suspect that's probably why they weren't able to get to that very well. I'm going to clean this up, take this wrap out right here where they've already eaten it, just to get it out of their way a little bit. Try not to drop my hive tool. I've seen people cut this all different ways, so I just cut out a hole in the middle on the underside, and then I cut lines, as you could maybe hear, but I cut lines through this top part. So cut the square out of the bottom, put that face down onto the brood, and then I cut lines through this top, but they really couldn't get to it from the top, like I said, because of not having the space. Come on, girls, get out of the way. Let me cut this. Okay, got that out. So I'm not going to need to put that other patty on right now, just because they do have a little bit left here, but this isn't going to last long, I don't think, now that they're going to have much better access to it. Okay, so the idea is now they can start eating it from here through the sides, and you don't have to take all the plastic off. So they will start eating it from the sides, and they will actually go into the plastic. From what I understand, they won't actually chew the plastic, they won't remove the plastic, but they will just kind of eat through the sides to get access to that plastic. Just trying to take a look here and see how large the cluster is. I can see a good amount of honey on this frame, this frame, and this frame. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least 5 seams of bees up here, and another 3 or 4 seams of bees up here. So they've got a pretty good population still. feeder shim is not square perfect, but I think, yeah, once we get some weight on it, it'll push down and be fine. All right, so looks like their winter stores are still okay for now. I am going to check on it again here in about 2 weeks, probably, as long as the weather is okay. And then at that time, I suspect this fondant will be gone by then, and then we'll go ahead and put that other one on there, and I will show you application of that from the beginning to the end. We'll take this out, cut that open, place it. But yeah, you either got to do a feeder shim or put it on this top box. Let's go ahead and put this back. Okay, slide that over. Trying to square this up as best I can because this feeder shim is not an exact fit. This is an 8-frame Hoover Hive, which I've really liked. It's wax dipped. It's held up pretty well so far. All right, I think that's good. All right. And this top box that I'm about to put on there, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it from the camera angle, but it is full of, it's got a rapid round in the bottom, just on the top cover, for the inner cover. And then I've got a box on top of that, a medium box, and filled that with sugar, like a little mountain camp method, and then filled it with pine shavings, just for a little insulation in the top. And so it's basically just an extra emergency store up here. So we got the fondant right here, and then up here in the rapid round we have the mountain camp method, plus their winter store. So I'm just trying to make sure that they have the nutrition and the food that they need to get through winter. It goes back to what I talked about in the last video: low mites, great queens, and good nutrition. I'm trying to make sure that we got that good nutrition part down as we go through winter. There's going to be periods of times where I'm not going to be able to get in here to check anything because it's going to be too cold for extended periods of time. So you got to take advantage of these warm days that you have. If you have warm days, get into your hives and check on them and make sure that their food stores are good. It's been unseasonably warm, so they will eat that a lot faster when it's warm like that. All right, I will see you guys.